What's up, guys? Knight's Edge here. Just gonna do a little quick sharpening video. This is one of the guy I work with knives that he gave me to sharpen, and I'm by no means a professional knife sharpener or anything like that. That's why I got the KME system here. But I don't know. I just want to do a quick video to kind of show off just a basic overview of how this thing works with this knife. This is a SOG. It's a SOG Terminus. You can see it there. SOG Terminus XR and D2, and doesn't really have much of an edge on it right now at all. Let's see. Get some paper here. Do the old paper cut test on it, see what happens. Can't really get anything out of that. You might be able to, that's about it. Definitely needs a tune-up. I'm not looking to reprofile the edge or anything. I think the bevel's already still pretty good. Pretty good edge bevel on it. It's just needs to be tuned up a little bit. So anyway, I'm gonna put it in the system, see how it goes. I got another video on the KME knife system that I did about 8 or 9 months ago. If y'all want to check that one out too. But in case you don't know, this is the KME knife sharpening system. It's probably had it like maybe a year, I guess. I don't know, a year and a half, something like that. So you want to put the knife in here, and when you put it in here, kind of center it up. Center it up with that. That's where the slide rod's going to be at. Tighten it down just a little bit so it'll hold it. Put the stone. The stone is that's your sharpening stone right there. And loosen this up. Take it out. Tells you what grit the stone is. Right now it's right now I got the 1500 grit. Put that on there just to find the edge bevel, the angle. I'll show you how to do that in just a second. I also did another video on that. So take this out for now. So you kind of want the center of this to be right at the center of that. Center your blade kind of like at the center of where the motion's going to be happening at whenever you're going back and forth sharpening. So you could get a tape measure and center it up exact. I mean, I find it doesn't really matter too much as long as you get it as close as you can, eyeballing it. You put it in there. Make sure it's clamped down real tight. This turns, as you can see. Put that in there. Clamp it down real tight. Make sure it's not going to go anywhere while you're sharpening it. Actually, I'll take this and move it back a little bit. Let's see. Put it about right there. That should be. Should be pretty centered up there. Tighten it real down real good. You tighten that up. Whenever you tighten that wing nut up, it keeps it from moving around. Alright, we're ready to go. This finds your angle. It's got a little ball in there that rotates. Loosen this up on the back. You loosen that up. This will slide up and down. Put it back in the stand. Put the rod in there, and kind of want to try to find the bevel that's already on this, being as how I'm not reprofiling the edge. So I'll get a Sharpie. This thing, go-to thing with sharpening, that and an angle finder, but not really worried about that because I'm not reprofiling the edge on this thing. You want to use your finest grit stone whenever you're trying to find the existing edge bevel. You don't want to be trying to find the edge bevel with like a 140 or something that'll actually damage it or sharpen it too much. So just going around it right now, seeing how much Sharpie I take off. Alright, that seems a little high, so I'll go up a little bit. Taking off a little more Sharpie. Taking off a lot of Sharpie now. So that's kind of a key thing whenever you're trying to maintain the same edge bevel that's already on there. Like I said, in this case I am, because the knife's pretty dull, but it's not unsavable. So took most of the Sharpie off, still got a little bit right there. So what I'm gonna do is adjust this a little bit. Seems to be pretty good right there. Might be a little high, but I think that's pretty good. Alright. So, you can start at any grit you want. I mean, you can sharpen the whole knife with a 1500 grit. It's going to take you all day, and you're going to wear your stone out if it's really dull. Or you can start with a 50 grit and just demolish the bevel, which is the most coarse grit stone that KME has anyway. Call it the beast. It's a 50 grit. So you can see how rough that diamond texture is on that one. So for this one, I'd say I'm gonna start with the 140 here. And you just want to go each side equally whenever you're doing it. Put in a little holder. Tighten it up. I always put a little lapping fluid on there. Just a little bit of oil. You can use 3-in-1 if you want. You can use any kind of lubrication. Helps out with a lot of things. Helps avoid scratching the blade. So you take that. You can go up and down like that the whole time, as long as you can get it to where you can do it evenly, the way you're supposed to do it. Especially if you've got like this little upsweep in the blade, you're supposed to do it like this. You're supposed to do like a sweeping motion. So you get it to where you can do it just like that. and you're not really wanting to apply pressure. If you got a really dull edge and trying to reprofile a blade, then you might apply a little more pressure. But you really don't need any pressure at all. You just let the weight of the stone do the work for you. As long as you go both sides equally, it doesn't matter if you do a sweeping motion or what. Whenever you get close to the tip, that sweeping motion does matter, because if you're sharpening like this on the tip and this thing slides off, you can round that tip out really easy. Other than that, as long as you do both sides equally, just as much, taking off just as much metal on each side, you're good.
Good.
What's up, buddy?
Just grabbing some ramen.
Okay. Just doing a little sharpening.
I have a question
What's up?
that you can answer at any time. What is your favorite knife you have or had?
Well, I don't know. Probably one of my Spyderco knives, I guess.
Could you grab a Spyderco knife?
Yeah. Hold on. Let's see. These are the ones with the holes in them,
Oh, okay.
like that. A bunch of different ones of those.
But if you had to pick one, which would be your favorite?
That's probably my favorite one.
That one?
Yeah.
That makes sense. I mean, my favorite would probably be that purple one.
The purple one?
Yeah.
I like that one too. I put the purple handle on there.
Okay.
LSU colors, you know, kind of customize it a little bit, purple and gold.
Do you remember that? Wait, didn't you show Beans that knife before?
I think so.
And didn't I hold it or something?
Yeah, you actually held it. But yeah.
What's probably the most custom one that you've made before?
The most custom one?
Yeah.
Probably this one, I guess.
Okay.
I put the handles and the pocket clip on there, change that out.
Okay.
Put a different edge on the blade.
This is probably gonna be a pretty hard question to answer.
What?
What is probably the most sharpest knife you have?
I don't know. I mean, they're all pretty equally sharp. This one's pretty sharp. This one's probably the sharpest I have right now.
Okay. What's probably the sharpest one you've ever had, though?
I don't know. They go, depends on how long ago I sharpened them and what I use them for.
Yeah. Okay.
What are you eating? Oh, you eating some ramen?
Yeah, my mom's gonna make me some ramen.
Oh, you love ramen. Ramen noodles are the best.
Yes. Especially the cup ones.
Right.
Free bowl. Free bowl and you can take, and they're only like, you can make them in 2 minutes.
Yeah. All right, move. All right. Sorry about that. He was wondering what my sharpest knife was. I thought about I don't know. I might keep this in the video. I don't know. I might cut it out. Okay. Where were we at? Did I flip it yet? No, I didn't flip it yet. All right. I got a good burr on this side. So once you get up a good burr, you can feel it. Sometimes on the lower grit stones, you can see the burr. Especially if you're reprofiling the edge, you'll see the metal sticking up. But I've got a good burr. I'm going to flip the knife. Alright. And all we're going to do is take off just as much metal on this side as we did on the other. And like I said, there's the KME guy, which those people are awesome, by the way. But the KME guy does it way better than I do. And there's another channel called Knife Crazy. That guy, he's excellent and very, very good with his KME sharpening films. videos and stuff, but you can kind of, once you get the KME, you do a few knives with it. I would suggest getting a knife you don't really care about at first, just to sharpen it, and that'll give you a little leeway if you mess it up, you know. But it just takes practice, takes time to do it, and like I said, everybody does it different. And I'll put that little disclaimer in there. I am by no means a sharpening expert. I can get a knife mirror sharp, I can get it shaven sharp, razor sharp. A lot of the proper techniques, I'm sure, that I'm not doing right now on this thing. But I can get it sharp enough to work, and I can get it sharper than that. So kind of get the feeling of it after a while. It's hard to explain, but the metal that you're taking off, you kind of get a feeling for it. You get a feeling for how much edge you've taken off, how much more you need to take off. You can feel the resistance, and you can hear it too if you listen. You know how rough that is? By the time we get to the last stone, it's going to be a lot smoother than that. That's really noisy, really rough, because you're taking off a lot more metal. Good burr there. Flip it over. Alright. So I'm going to go from 140. Go from the 140. Go up to the 300. Whoop. Put 300 in. Tighten it down. Alright. Put a little more lapping fluid on that. Alright. So you just do the same thing with the 300 grit. You're refining the edge. The 300 grit is still coarse. Still pretty coarse. You're still taking metal off whenever you're doing this. But you're not taking nearly as much off as you are whenever you're using your 140 grit. And what I like to do, the closer I get to my last stone, I like to kind of follow the rules a lot more whenever I'm doing that. So instead of just going back and forth the whole time like that, the closer I get to my last stone, like on my last stone, I'll be doing more of a sweeping motion, keeping it more uniform, because at that point you're kind of just polishing the edge, trying to make it look good. Anyway, got a good burr there. Flip it over. Do this side. I'll do just as much on this side as I did on the other side. And like I said, it's not an exact science. You don't have to sit there and count every single stroke you do. You just got to make sure that you're taking off about as much metal on one side as the other. You can hear that burr. A good burr on that side. I'll flip it over. Take the 300 out. And I'm going to go up with the 600, which this is D2 steel. Good cut resistance, not the best corrosion resistance with D2, but not cut resistance. What am I talking about? Good edge retention. Pretty decent edge retention. It's not bad. It's better than 8CR or AUS 8 or something like that. And it's a good steel. It's not like a super steel, but it's not a bad steel by any means, I don't think. Alright, put a little bit on there. This is my 600 grit, so with D2, I'm going to finish, I don't even know if I said that part or not, but I'm going to finish my 600 when I'm doing D2. 600 will be the last before the strop. D2, you want that toothy edge, 600 grit or so, about the highest you want to go on it. I learned that from these knives, but you want that bite that D2 has. If you polish it too much, if you go too high of a grit whenever you're doing a certain steel, you can actually polish the edge where it looks really good, but it's skatey because it's so fine that it doesn't have those little micro serrations on there that bite. And especially with D2, you don't want that. You want something that's kind of toothy, that's bitey, that like if you're cutting a strap or some rope, doesn't just slide right off. Doesn't really do you much good if you got a beautiful edge, mirror polished edge, and it slides right off of what you're trying to cut. I really like this system. You can also do it without the mount. I mean, you can take it out of the mount, do it without the mount, and sit on your couch and do it. This thing's so easy. I always like to have it on the table. I mean, I'm not a stickler for precision a lot of times, but it definitely helps to have it on something stable and something solid like a table, workbench. Oh. So with my last ones, back and forth. Alright, flip it over. This thing's got all kinds of attachments, all kinds of stuff you can get for it. These are actually not the jaws that come with it. It comes with these. These are a little bit wider. All the jaws that they sell come with these little rubber protectors on there so it doesn't scratch the blade that you put in. But these are actually the penknife jaws for the KME, which they're good for smaller knives and blades like an old timer or case or something like that. So I flipped it over, do a few upward passes, 4 or 5 on each side is what I usually like to do. I'll flip it over again, do the other side. 1, just going up, kind of deburring it a little bit. Alright, now the last thing that I always do, no matter what grit I go to or what steel I sharpen, is I always finish with a strop. I got strop by hand, but KME sells these nifty little things, little 4-inch bars that go inside of there. So I'm gonna strop it with this. I just do, make sure you get each side just as much with the strop too, very light. Strop does all the work. Alright, flip it over. Just as much as the other side. One important thing with a strop is you don't ever go the opposite way. If I go up like that with it while I'm on the blade, it'll tear the blade up. You can see there I've had a couple of little accidents after drinking some Gatorades or whatever while I'm sharpening. So just gotta kind of watch that. Other than that, sharpening's pretty easy. You just use it and let it do all the work. You're not worried about your angle getting messed up because you're using a fixed angle sharpening system, right? So that's it. So let's take it out, loosen it up, take it out. Let's see. Ooh, man. Hopefully it does a little better. That'd be embarrassing if it didn't. Alright. Let's see if it'll pass the paper cut test here. Looks like it, huh? Looks like it cuts a lot better than it did. Yep, I keep hitting it with the hilt. Help if I could hold the paper the right way. But yeah. Definitely much better than before. Pretty good edge. What do you guys think? Not that mirror polish that a lot of people get. I've S90V and a lot of the stuff you see on Instagram with a lot of the high-end knives and everything, but D2 is a good steel, and that's definitely the finish you want on it. That's toothy. That'll go through a rope or a strap, no problem. But anyway, that's conclusion to amateur hour sharpening with the KME. Hope you guys got something out of it. And like and subscribe to the video. Subscribe to the channel if you guys like the content. Yep.